All right, so for video number 2, we're going to start off in section 1. Video number 1, we started off in section 9 and made our way backwards. That might have been tricky for some people, so you might have jumped on over here to start off in video number 2 and work on these sections. You can do them in any order. You don't have to learn this piece from the beginning to the end, or really in any order at all. But now we're going to start off with section 1, left hand, and then right hand, and then hands together. Ha! That's a joke. You'll see why in just a moment. So we'll have a look here. You can see the first note is D with finger number 1. And you can see that I have all my gems on here from the last lesson, from lesson number 13, where we learned about the key of D major. So we're going to play 1 and then 4. And then we're going to move our 1 into B. And then we're going to play our 4, but look out, this is an F. So we need F sharp. Now we're going to play the neighbor of F sharp, which is G, with finger 2. So we're just moving in to play our 2 on G, and then we'll play our 5 here on D. We didn't need to move. And then we'll move our 3 up to G, and then we'll play our 2 on A. So you can practice that again. Thumb, hold for 2. 4, hold for 2. Thumb comes in. B, hold for 2. F sharp, hold for 2. 2 comes in. G, hold for 2. 5, D. 3 moves up, hold for 2. 2 on A. Great. So practice that until it's comfortable and you can move between those notes while you're counting. So check, we've learned left hand section 1. So now let's have a look at right hand section 1. We have 4 beats of silence, 4 beats of silence, 4 beats of silence, 4 beats of silence. Yay! So that means we've actually learned it hands together, because the right hand doesn't have to do anything. No playing in the first section. So now let's have a look at section 2. And let's look at the left hand first. So here we start off on D. We're going to start with finger 1. And if you notice, the next note is going to be A. Then we're going to bring our thumb in, and we're going to play B, and then we're going to go down to our 4. And then we're going to bring our 2 in to G, and then our 5 down to D. Then we'll bring our 3 into G, and our 2 on A. So that's identical to the left-hand section in section 1. So far we haven't learned anything new. We've just learned this section and we've repeated it. So now is a good time to pause the video, really practice that first and second line of left hand so that you've got section 1 and section 2 left hand totally figured out and comfortable. And now we can go ahead and learn the right hand for the section number 2. So pause the video, practice left hand, and we'll regroup. So for this section, we're going to play our finger 5 and hold for 2, and we'll go down a neighbor. Okay, but let's just back it up for a second. Our 5 is on F, and in the key of D major, Fs are always sharp, so we actually have to place our 5 on the black key. And then we also need to think about C sharp. And here we have a C, so we have to actually place our second finger on a black key as well. You might just want to play that a few times to get used to the feeling of playing over those black keys. So now we're going to hold 5, and we're going to step down, 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 and now we're only just going to cross down one note with our 2, and then we're going to come right back to this position. So we're just going to go down to 2 on A, and then we're going to play our 1 again on B, and then we're going to relax back in so that our 2 plays that C sharp, just like it did in this measure. So, 1, 2, just like it did in this measure. All right, so it's going to hold for 2, hold for 2, walking down every single finger, watching for C sharp, thumb, cross down, thumb on B, cross up, back to C sharp. So that's great. That's the right hand. You should practice that until you can easily manage that turn over, turn under. And then we can try it with both hands. So we'll have hold 2, hold, move your thumb in the left, hold 2, hold, move your 2 in the left, hold 2, cross your right hand down. Your left hand reaches to G at the same time that your right hand's doing a little bit of turning around. So if you're feeling like a bit of a novice, that might be a little bit tricky. If you've already done the first video and you did all these other sections, you're like, oh, that's a piece of cake. But wherever you are, that's where you need to be. So if this was tricky, then break it down and just practice these 2 measures. Just get used to that feeling of both hands moving. Write some finger numbers in if you need some help remembering what's going on in there. So let's go ahead, pause the video, practice line 2, hands together. And now we're ready for section 3. So let's have a look at the left hand for section 3, and a very quick skim of the left hand will show you it's identical to the left hand from the first 2 sections. So we don't have to practice it, we already know it. Yay! All right, now let's have a look at the right hand for section 3. And you can see here that it starts off with finger 4 on the F sharp. Now let's just find the black keys in this hand position. We've got the 4 with F sharp, and we'll have G, F sharp, E, and D. Now here's a C, so C's are sharp. We'll be down here on the C sharp. So we're gonna have 4, T, T, and then fingers 1 and 3. So this is 4, neighbor up, neighbor down again, but play it with a skip. And so we have 4, 5, 4, 3, 1. And that started on F sharp. So the fingering, 4, 5, 4, 3, 1. And it's ta, ti, ti, 3, 1. You might like to practice just that fingering a few times. Now, the next measure puts 4 on D. So let's find our black keys. I see a C sharp right in here. 4, ti, ti, 3, 1. That's exactly the same fingering and exactly the same rhythm. We just started on D. So we have ta, ti, ti, hold 2, or 4, 5, 4, 3, 1, or 1, 2, and 3, 4. Now we're going to move our 4 and place it on B. We're going to see that if we slide in here, we're not going to have a C, we're going to have a C sharp. We're not going to have a B, we're not going to have an F, we're going to have an F sharp. So here we'll have B, 5, 4, 3, 1. That feels much different than the others because of the placement of the black keys. Practice that till it feels comfortable for you. And then you're going to place your 2 on B. So let's find our black keys that are in the 5-finger position. I see there's a C sharp here. So B, down, up, 3, 1. So this one's a little bit different than the others. It still finishes with that 3, 1, but it's going to start with a 2, and then it's going to go 1, 2. All right, so practice that right hand for section 3, and then come on back and we'll play it hands together. So when we play section 3 hands together, let's see where the struggles might be. Okay, so right here, my left is going to come into thumb because that's the pattern for this group. So again, my right hand has to move. And then I'm going to place my 2. So the beginning of each measure in this section is a little bit tricky. You may have to practice this with a countdown method in order to eliminate hesitations. So we'll have hold 2, left and right both move. Left goes in and right moves. Left moves up, one right moves. That's how it should sound once you have it. I'll count while I play. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's section 3. So practice, pause and practice now. Section 3, hands together, and don't necessarily try to motor through that entire line. If you need to practice just the first move, do a countdown here. If you need to practice just the next move, work on a countdown just on these 2 measures. If you don't know what I'm talking about for countdown, countdown is a method where you pause the video or you pause the practicing at the spot where you have to do a leap that's tricky, and you progressively shorten up the gap by counting to fewer and fewer numbers. There's a video on that somewhere. You can click the info card if I have one there. All right, next section. We're going to do left hand for section 4. And you guessed it, we already know the left hand. Woohoo! So now we just have to check the right hand. The right hand is a little tricky. If you've already done video number 1, you're not going to find it quite so bad because these ideas of chords that move around are similar over here. So what we're going to have is we're going to have this big reach. We're going to start off with a pattern that opens, and then 2, 5, 4. So we're going to have D, F sharp, A, D, C sharp, E. So just practice that. T, 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 ta, ta. And we'll do it again. T, 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 ta, ta. You might want to try the left hand with it. T, 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 T. Now both. then we're going to move the left hand in, and the right hand's going to play at a different grouping. So let's just try the right hand here. We finish this one. 4, 1 reaches to E, and then we're going to close in and replace our 5 on this B. B, D, F sharp, B, A, reach down to C sharp. So that's the same concept, the same little pattern, just starting on a different note. So we have B, D, F sharp, B, A, reach to C sharp. And that happens with the left hand just playing 1 and 4. And then we're going to move our 5 again. We're going to play it on G. And then we're going to reach down again. So this little grouping is happening a third time. We're going to have G, B, D, G, F sharp, and then A. And this one's going to play with 2, 5. So 2 on the left, and then 5. So let's run through all of those. Really, we're just focusing on the right hand here. I just threw left hand in so that you could give it a try. For reach, B, A, C sharp, F sharp, A. So practice just that little bit, and then we have this ending section. We have rest, rest, and then C sharp, E, A. That's just single notes to read through there. So rest, B, D, G, rest, C sharp, E, A. So there you have individual notes and played against the left hand, which is just G and A. So G and then A. So practice the right hand alone until you can play it steadily like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and rest and 2 and rest and 4 and. All right, and then pause the video and practice just the right. And then we'll try actually playing both hands together. We're pretty used to this left hand now, the little pattern that it has to play. It's just there's a lot of moving around here in the right hand, so make sure you know it really well. And here we go. We're going to play slowly. And then everything's been in this one spot, but then the right hand is going to open a little bit and then close a little bit while the left hand plays B. So we'll try that again. And then there's that little reach and close and close. And then we're just going to keep coming through here. We have the sharp in the left and then the sharp in the right. I'm going to come in with my 2 here just like always, and I'm going to play G and the sharp in the right and reach to A. There's a ledger note. And the left hand's going to move 3. B, D, G, neighbor, C sharp, E, A. All right, so practice that, work it in little sections until you can play it on a steady beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. All right, so the secret with this piece is also not playing too quickly because there's lots of fast notes later on. Okay, so that was section 4 right hand, section 4 hands together. We're now on the very last section of the Pachelbel Canon, which is this one right here. So let's look at the left hand. Yep, you guessed it, same section. So all of this uses exactly the identical left hand pattern to even section 7 and section 8. So all of these sections use the same left hand pattern. Now, right hand, thumb on D, and we're going to reach an F sharp in the middle. We don't have to do any crazy extensions like we did in section 4. We're just going to run up the notes. Pentascale and hold A. Now we're going to move our thumb, we're going to move it up to B, and we're going to have a C sharp coming right up here. Pentascale, then skip to 3. Now we're going to move our 5 up to the note above the staff, which is G, and I see in here I'm going to slide in. I got lots of black key potentials here. I got F sharp and C sharp. That's that awkward placement, we're going to have G, F sharp, E, skip, F sharp, D. That's a little interesting. You might want to practice that. 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 2. So that one is a good one for practice. 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 2. You'll practice that alone. 5, 4, 3, 5, 4, 2. T, 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 ta, ta. And then we have, we're going to just actually move our finger 2. I'm trying to see. The notes are kind of small from back here. Ta, finger 2. So we just played it on D. We're going to hop it over to B. And then neighbor, 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 skip. So B, C sharp, D, C sharp, A. And we see here that 2, 3, 4, skip. And then I'm just looking here. 2, 3, 4, 3. What's it? 1. Didn't think it looked right. 2, 3, 4, 3, 1. So playing the whole first line. 1 and 2 and 3. Move to B. 1 and 2 and 3. Move to G. 1 and 2, 3. Move to B. 1, 2, 3, 4. Practice that right hand until you can do it as smoothly as that. And then you're ready to do the final section. Hands together. Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Left moves. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then left squishes. 1, 2, 3. 2 on B. And then we finish right here with A. All right, so practice that hands together. There could be spots that you find tricky because left hand opens and closes, right hand's moving around, but basically we have this position here, then we move up to the B, and then we have our 5 on F, on G, and then hopping, da 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 da, yes, hopping here too. Down to that one. So practice each of those sections, hands separately, hands together, until you can piece it all together in a really comfortable way. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and if you did, I would love it if you would consider becoming a sponsor on Patreon. You can click the link in the info card for more information. So that's all the sections of the Pachelbel Canon in D, unless you started with video 2, in which case you have to work really hard on getting this page nice and comfortable, or this page in a bit, these 5 sections. And if you get them really well, then go on and learn the other half of the piece, where it is really a little bit more challenging, but worth it. So take your time, figure it out. If this takes you 6 months to learn, that's okay. It was worth it. All right, thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.